Hey everyone, it's Chris. I'm an American living out my midlife crisis in the Netherlands in my van. I hope everybody is doing okay. It's a beautiful autumn day here, lots of fog. We've had quite a bit of rain lately. I love it. This is my kind of weather. Autumn and winter, my favorite times of the year. I know that's not normal. Most people like the sunny, warm weather. I thought it was quite a hot um, and sticky summer, and I am very happy that it's over. Today, I wanted to chat with you about a number of things, but I wanted to start with what's happening in Oregon. And it seems that Trump has decided to send 300 National Guard to protect the city of Portland, which makes absolutely no sense because there's nothing going on in Portland that would make it necessary to send even one National Guard, let alone 300. Then a judge jumped in, one that he appointed, by the way, and blocked the ruling of Trump sending these National Guard troops. And then Trump came in and said, well, we're going to send them anyway. And he scheduled them to come from California. Now, California is suing the Trump administration because they didn't want to authorize these National Guard to go to Portland, Oregon. It's a big mess. I've been checking in with some friends in Portland, and they seem like everything is fine at this point. I did see that at least 90 of the troops arrived 2 mornings ago. I'm not sure if the rest are going to make it or if they're already there at this point, but so far, apparently nothing has happened. But everybody's on edge. I find it really interesting that I have had two of my friends from Oregon reach out to me in the last week or so about how I moved to the Netherlands and if it was possible for them or somewhere else in the EU. Let me tell you, I didn't have that many friends in Oregon, and to have two of them reach out within a week of each other and say, "Hey, we're thinking about getting out." I think this is, pretty clear how difficult the situation is there right now, and how dangerous it really is. I think that there's really three groups of people going on in the U.S. right now, and the first is like, I got a GTFO, which, by the way, GTFO is a relocation partner that I work with. I find that very fitting in today's circumstances. And then there's a group of people who are Trump supporters who are very happy to see lots of things that are happening right now, especially with ICE and getting rid of, you know, immigrants and things like that. And then there's this third group of people, in my opinion, that are what I would call the privileged group, where they kind of see some of this stuff going on, but it doesn't really affect them on a day to day basis. They don't have family that are queer, they don't have friends that are immigrants or friends that are people of color. Like, they're just kind of oblivious to the real problems that are happening in the United States right now. And I think they're kind of the biggest group in terms of the trouble that we're in right now, because they're the ones that probably, part of them voted for Trump, but they're also like, I voted because, abortion, or I voted because of taxes, which is just ridiculous. And then there's the other half that just like, oh, I'm going to go to Target and, just live my life. And no, my kids are fine. Everything's okay in my town. And since everything's okay in my town, then everything must be fine. But it's also very much the American lifestyle. It's very me, me, me. It's very, how does this affect me and how does this profit me and benefit me? I'm happy I'm not living in that society anymore. So it'll be interesting to see what continues to unfold in Portland, Oregon, between these court orders and Trump pushing the National Guard in. I don't know, but it seems like a dangerous situation. And 300 troops may not sound like that much, but a lot can happen, especially if people get agitated. So I think the last thing I'll talk about today is connections, and I really like where I've gotten in terms of being able to know enough people that are here on Daft and other ways that they're here in the Netherlands, that I can start connecting people when they need something. And to me, this is just another level of service that I love to offer. I really like to help people. And when I see that somebody has a question, or somebody texts me and says, hey, how do I do this? Or how do I find this person? Or what are you doing when it comes to X, Y, or Z? And I'm able to share that and then share the resources that I have made connections with. I've been a long-time believer of open sharing. Back when I was doing wine sales, I usually had a pretty successful method of making businesses grow. And I always shared that with people because, first of all, nobody's going to do it the same way that you do it. And second of all, even if you shared every little thing that you did to make that particular brand successful, it doesn't mean that that's going to work for somebody else. They're going to have to tweak it and make it their own anyway. So why not share what's working for you so that they can take it and run with it? I just don't understand why there's a lot of gatekeeping around connections and sales tactics and things like that. I mean, I guess I do, because it's really all about money, and everybody tries to capitalize on, my sales technique is better than their sales technique and stuff like that. I don't know. I've just always been open and sharing whatever it is that I happen to be doing that's successful at the time, because why not? Who cares if there's somebody else that's also successful? Like, that's the thing. It's like there's plenty of room for successful people. Like, we don't need to just be like, oh, I'm the only one that can, help people arrive to the Netherlands. Like, that's bullshit. Someone else could come here and start a business just like I have, and and be just as successful. Like, there's plenty of business. There's no shortage of clients or customers. Like, I helped over 50 Americans arrive to the Netherlands last quarter, and I know that several hundred Americans arrived here last quarter. So I'm only helping a percentage of those people. I mean, people sometimes ask me, what's the hardest part about what you're doing? And I'm like, well, for me, the hardest part was before we got here. The 6 weeks leading up to us leaving was definitely the most stressful and most difficult part. I mean, sure, it's been challenging at times, both from a money standpoint or also from an integration standpoint of, trying to figure out how daily life works here. By far, the most difficult thing that we had to do was pack up all our stuff and decide what we were leaving behind and what we were taking with us. It's not even a question. Like, that was definitely the most difficult time. And apparently finding a broom. Who knew that finding a broom would be so difficult in this country? Definitely finally found one at Hornbach, which is a hardware store here, but it took some tries to be able to find something. It's so ridiculous. So anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope there's been a few good tidbits on here for you. And again, go ahead and put in the comments what you would like to see from me and what kind of questions you have, and I'll address those as I'm driving down the road. Until next time, stay safe.